It's a windy day, April 10th, 2021. I have my clipped microphone under my shirt, under my Good Vibes sweater, so that way the wind won't go and make me too much noise. But if you can hear the creaking of the frogs, it's so beautiful. We'll have to walk around pretty soon in a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit about being born. Now, this might be put out before or after in time, who knows, but I'm going to do the alphabet, and I'm going to go through each letter and explain those to everybody. And it sounds stupid to say that, I'm sure it sounds silly to people. I'm going to explain the alphabet to everybody, but they need it. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just start with being born. First, we'll start with to be, a bee. Honey. Why is honey this thing? An H between here and here, and a line in between. An O, ongoing. N, nature, up, down, up. E, energy. Y, yoking to yonder. So when you have energy that is yoking yonder, that is recognized in some sort, and it reoccurs, it is something that we say be, to be. To be something, you are being. In order to be a being, you have to be born. The R comes into play there. Born. There's a reoccurring thing there. When you go from spirit into the world, you're born into the world. Like when you bore a hole into something. A boar is a creature of the land that runs around. Let's get back to the bee here. A bee, B-E-E. Okay, you say to be is to be, or you're a being. A B-E-E makes honey. What did you and me decide to make? We added it together and make beer, B-E-E-R, mead, which is honey. Fermented form. Okay, I'm not going to go too far with that. So, there's those things. And being is to have a body of energy in the name of God, or in nature generated, we'll say that. ING is in the name of God, whether people like it or not, because I'm not ashamed to say God. But if I say in the nature of generation, it makes it more scientific for people that have to use that word, which is really the word for sin, which I won't get into that either. But from being born, okay, when you go from spirit into the physical world, the word born, you put a plus because you're being added to the world. You're dead from spirit to be born into the world. You're dead to the world to be born back into spirit. But you can do them both at the same time. Once it happens, it never changes. You may forget it for a little while during your life, but it comes back. And you try to tell other people and they don't get it because they get told something else from a book or something like that, and it's silly. So, to be born, you are being plus ongoing, returning into nature. You are being torn from spirit to be born into the world. These words are right there. You put an L in those words, and it is living. The world is living word. God is the word. You are God, so therefore the world is you living. And everything you say out loud, inside, and that you allow to remember in your mind are the words that your world becomes. This isn't a joke, but I'm saying it so naturally because I've experienced what it is. I'm not going to say I'm God, because you are too. But what God was before it became impure and tainted and distorted by all the people talking all the science fiction, and all the philosophies, and all the theologies and philosophies, those are all the same damn thing. They all come from different languages. Like there's pi, and there's Phil, and there's the theos, and there's thoth, and there's the truth, and there's trees. Okay, I mean, I can go on and on and on forever, but how much do people have to hear to just know that I know what I'm talking about, that I can lead us into a future we want? Yeah, so what I will do from now on is explain stuff to people. And I will be as honest and blatant and straightforward as I can. When I say I love everyone in the government, I just can't stand what they're doing in human form. And honestly, I forgive them, of course. But me as a human being living and having them tell me as a human being that I need to follow these rules when I'm God and I've experienced what God really is, I could do so much to them, but I would never do that. So I'm not saying that to be threatening, but the point is I'm showing you how humble and meek. The power returns to the meek will inherit the earth. Guess what that means? It doesn't mean you're weak and you let people push you around. It means you stand up for yourself, but you're not going to let power and pressure and pain control that. You're going to talk about me, energy, kinetically. You know, the meek, M-E-E, manifesting energy everywhere, kinetically. Mother Nature is very meek. You go up to a tree, it's very giving. You don't have to ask it. You just take from it. You cut a limb off, you burn it, you have a fire. That's heat for you. Are you thankful to Mother Earth for that? Most people aren't. I know that that's me, so I'm more than thankful for it. I'm thankful to be for it. Because grateful is like you really don't believe what you get until you see it. Right? No. You see what you believe in your mind. And if your mind has the ability to see it physically before it happens, it will happen physically. Like today, when we pulled in, I heard a voice that I thought was so real. I asked if Xavier heard it, and I was like, did you hear that? It was like it sounded like trees. When trees talk, they creak to us. They don't have to do that to each other because they talk through roots. They talk through leaves. They leave a message to each other. Like we say leave a message because we are plants too. We're plants and animals together. Our aggression and our anger is usually animal nature. Our happiness and our whatever is usually plant nature. Like our intelligence is usually intel. Tel is terrain, but it's LL as in we usually cut down trees and make books out of them. And we learn from the books and the words we write on them, which all those things are signs and symbols. And they're communicated between the land and the earth. Like we put it on a computer, well, that's still minerals and plastic and trees, basically any kind of plant that's used for that, rocks and plants. And then you have notebooks and paper and pencils and lead, which are, or graphite, which are minerals and wood. Like, we've always been the plants. All our words are used through the plants, and we are a combination of the plants, and everything we say is that plus the wind. Like, who are you? You are the wind. You are the earth. You are everything. Your Father Time and Mother Earth. Because adding yourself to who I and me are is time. Plus I am E. Plus I, me. Plus I'm energy. Time. That's you. You're the time capsule. You're the time machine. Is there a time machine? Yes. Us. We are the only machine of time. Put the M-A, chi, N-E, expressed. We are man with chi as energy as our center. Manifest chi, N-E. M-A-C-H-I-N-E. What is a machine? Man is the machine. It's not man versus the machine. Man is the machine of God because we are manifest, actual chi in nature expressed. Did you know that about machines? Because a machine is something that man used his chi to invent into nature and express. Is that not so? Am I wrong? No, I'm not. I'll never be wrong. It's painful for me to say that because I know how many people won't believe me. And they'll just look at me and be like, you think she's right about everything? I'm like, no, I know I'm right about everything. I am everything. How could I be wrong about myself? How could I be wrong about myself? All I would do is lie to... If I was telling you a lie, I'd be lying to myself. I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... It's like when I tell you a lie outside me, in my head, it hears it. Right now, outside me is inside my head. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's fucking tough to put out for people to understand, but it's true. Like, I wake up, you could maybe think that behind the scenes I was dosing or taking some kind of something that makes me do something. I don't know. But I sleep, I wake up, I'm like this. I walk around all the time, I'm like this.
You're pulling the limitless.
Yeah, like I'm always like this. This isn't a limitless thing. This is me. It's so awesome.
It's your own limitless. You've created it in yourself.
We watched Limitless because I made it.
Yeah.
I did make it. And Bradley Cooper played it because I'm Bradley Cooper. Like, which sounds really stupid to say that. Oh, I forgot I'm recording. Ah, shit. Well, I am Bradley Cooper. I am Bradley Cooper. And like, he'll be like, no, I'm the raccoon on Guardians of the Galaxy, which Bradley Cooper is a great raccoon, you know. So he's not even Bradley Cooper. He's, what's his name? Rocket. He's not Bradley Cooper. He's Rocket. But at the same time, he's Bradley Cooper. The name that his parents gave the massive god he is. And I don't mean that as in like, oh, dreamy. I just mean like, just like, what the hell's that dude on, Whose Line Is It? Not Whose Line Is It? He's that one that's, Louis Anderson. He's so heavy. I love him. Boy, he needs to take care of himself. He needs to do my workout program and eat like me. Not because I'm trying to be a show-off, because someone like that needs a crash diet now. They need help. And they can't sit there talking about, I got some chocolate. And everyone's like, yeah, let's just talk about chocolate with the fat guy. And they'll be like, you need to lay off the chocolate. Because if we say that, it'll hurt his feelings. No, he's hurting his feelings by eating more chocolate. We have to be honest with ourselves.
Saying to himself he wants to stop. But if other people said it, he'd be like...
And here's the one last thing I'm going to say before I turn this recorder off, because I think this is a very deep thought for people to think about. When you say you're alone, you're never alone, because God loaned you something to be a. You are a. You are alone from God to be something. An energy expressed. But when you are alone, what do you say? I am by myself. You're not saying that myself is right here in you, although you think that at first. But then when you realize that you are by it, next to it, you're all around it. Your body yonder is self. So when you are alone, you're by yourself and myself and yourself and myself and my yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that's the truth. And if you can really get that in your head and understand it, you're always by your, what you possess, self. And self is everything inside you and outside you. And that's the truth. And it's not just some scientific thing where they say, oh yeah, that this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy created this together. Well, you who created it, you're just in a spot of location experiencing it from there. And you can use your locational experience to add altery to it. When you become an adult, we give you the ability to do it because people take you seriously. But now no one even takes adults seriously, because kids know that the word adult is just an adult. That to say that a kid can't be thinking like an adult is just stupid. To think that age matters is just stupid, because age just indicates time.
You see that?
What?
Something flashing in the fire?
Well, I see fire, and yeah, it's us.
Occasionally it'll be like,
Yeah.
the whole sky will flash.
Well, so what he said is true. But what we have to do here is work on being so honest with each other without hurting anybody by it. Maybe present it with, I don't want to bother you by saying this, but I feel like it would help you if you knew this. Maybe start sentences with that when you want to help people. But if your heart is open, you will find a way to present it in the right way. Believe me, I'm doing it.
Yeah, like you had a pretty good example with Terry.
Yeah. And I really did it. He was like, wow, thank you.
Yeah, it was a good moment.
And then one last thing, I'll go back to that by myself, just remember that so it's the last leaving thought. But territory, a person named Terrence has the potential to have a big, big ego or a big, big body, because his name is Territory, Terrence, terrain. It's either going to be what he thinks he is, territory, or what he is, terrain. So usually when someone goes by Terrence, they're going to have a big ego and they're going to have a big head. If someone goes by Terry, they're usually fat or super big and muscular. And that's the truth. Hulk Hogan, his name's Terry. It's not a coincidence. Bolea, he's a body, ongoing, living energy. Or you could say all, or you could say EA equals I, and it would be identified, because it's EA, Bolea, or Bolia. I can't remember if it's EA or EAI, but either way, those equal I in a fashion, all things sort of do. But that's just obvious to you. He's expressed for everyone to see. He's identified. He's Hulk Hogan, Terry Bolea. He didn't even know that when he named himself that. So when I say stuff like that, I'm not trying to be like, see what I mean? Because I am him too. But Dan is channeling all the time. All the time. I'm a sage. I channel all the time. Like sage is S, source. Age is time. Yeah, I'm a sage. I'm the source in time. Mm-hmm. Like if someone asks me a question, it may seem like I'm nitpicking at some of their personal traits, but it's only that I'm being honest. That's all I can be. Honest is when I'm on it. Man, I'm on it. Between here and here, if you're honest, you are on it, no matter what. You know? And let me say one other thing. Einstein. Albert Einstein. What are you doing? Huh? Oh, it looked like you were falling over. Like, what the hell? Sorry. Damn it, what were they saying? Einstein means in stone. In stone. Isn't that sort of interesting? In stone. Einstein. Einstein!
I hear squeaking.
What's that?
I know it's squeaking. I thought I heard a squirrel. It was a little squeaky.
Yeah. Well, we have a little conversation going on here, and I'm trying to find my phone so I can turn it off. But remember, when you're alone, you're always by yourself. Now think of who self is. When you're alone, you're by yourself. I love you guys. Till next time. I love me. I love you. I love I. Because we're all that. Peace.